These are not good times for the blacks. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, right? Police are killing us again. It's a very unfortunate set of circumstances because we were doing very well. You know, America has a racial hot seat. I think we can all agree that that's the truth. And we can also agree that that hot seat is traditionally occupied by African Americans in general, African American men in particular. Although I can see that in recent years, that seat has been occupied by Mexicans, and I dare say Arabs. And we, the black Americans, would like to thank you both for your sacrifice and your struggle. We needed a break. We needed a goddamn break. We all go through something, but at least I can leave my backpack someplace. If you Arab and forget your backpack, you got about 20 minutes before they send that robot to blow your shit up. Fuhad. Now ISIS is #1 on the terrorist charts. And ISIS is fucking scary. Because if ISIS catches you, they're going to cut your head off. That's what they do. I've seen them do it on YouTube. It was fucking awful. He looked right in the camera and say, "Obama, I am back." I saw that shit. I said, oh my God. Don't like. How is this guy cutting people's heads off on YouTube? I can't even post a dick pic, and this motherfucker is decapitating people. I'm gonna have to change my settings. You know, everyone has it hard, but I think harder than black people and harder than Arabs and harder than Mexicans, you know who has it the worst? Fat black people. It's hard for white people to understand, but that's what I'm saying is very true. Fat black people have a really rough road because all manner of things kill white people, but you know what kills more black people than anything, more than police and terrorism? Salt, nigga, regular. Here, white people are getting Ebola cures and shit, and meanwhile, I'm dying from fucking the flavoring. Look, honestly, I'll stop talking about it. Let me say this, though. Let me just say this. Can we all just say that we've seen it coming? Were you surprised? It's like when that guy threw that banana at me. Do you think I was surprised? Hell no. I've been in show business 30 years. I was expecting this banana. I knew one of these nights, it's like somebody gonna throw a banana at me one of these nights, niggas. Because that's how it starts, with the name calling. Like that Paula Deen. Remember Paula Deen got fired from the Food Network? If you know anything about show business, it is really hard to get fired from the fucking Food Network. And they dropped that bitch like a hot potato. All because she called somebody an N-word 30 years before she had a show. I don't know who she said it to, but whoever it was just looking at her like, I'm gonna get you for this bitch. That shit came back 30 years later like a Bill Cosby rape and sunk a battleship. And every black person was mad, but we weren't like that mad. I was just like, well, how's this bitch gonna call me a nigga when she taught me how to fry chicken? That's not fair. I think Donald Sterling shit was more serious. Remember Donald Sterling? He used to own the Clippers, and then he got caught on a secretly recorded tape saying some very unsavory things about African Americans. And there's a lesson in that for all of us. The lesson is, if you are old and white and racist in this great country, whatever you do, don't tell your black girlfriend about that shit, because that's who made the tape. She recorded all that shit, and the tape was terrible. He was like, stop bringing these black guys to my games. First, we're all confused, like, well, how the fuck are you gonna have a game without us? But it turned out that the black guy he was speaking of was none other than Magic Johnson, the billionaire. Unbelievable. Never even mentioned the fact that he had AIDS, which is... This guy must be really racist if AIDS is the footnote. Well, you gotta be careful, baby. He got the old Ebola. You can say what you want about that girl, but I'm gonna tell you right now, she is a goddamned hero. Because you might have thought these things were happening before, but now you can see it all in front of you without a shadow of a doubt. That shit actually went down. She sucked that old guy's dick. She really took one for the team on that one. It's really gross. This dick is like 80 years old. It's like tasting history. Like 5 wars on it, civil rights movement, Great Depression. This guy's been fucking from 40 years before Bill Cosby's first rape. This is a very old man. A very old penis. But all that shit is still, it's just name calling. Like, name calling does not break the modern black man. That's not gonna do the trick. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, if I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, Ku Klux Klan hood on top of their head, what do you think I'm gonna do in this day and age? Run out Kentucky Fried Chicken? Not if I'm hungry. I'll go straight to the front. Hey, man, let me get a 2-piece. I don't give a fuck what he says. You want a biscuit with that, nigger? I thought it came with a biscuit. What's all this attitude? I want a 2-piece. Chop, chop. You know what it is. But I'm not going to be mad. Why would I be mad? He's the one that's got to work at Kentucky Fried Chicken, not me. Well, how about this? What if I lived in Austin and I had a white girlfriend? It's possible in Austin. As a matter of fact, some people say it's necessary, but that's not the point. And me and my white girlfriend at home one night and we're just doing what lovers do. Maybe she's butt naked and she's down on one knee, giving me a hand job. I love a good hand job. And she's really jerking me off. You know, getting her obliques nice and tight. I got a huge dick, so she's like, And I'm like, wow, this really feels wonderful. I think I'm gonna come. Nigger. I know, that's a tough one. But what do you think I'm gonna do? Hey! That's no time for integrity, ladies and gentlemen. I'm busting that nut in her face. I'll sort through the ethics later. But I'm what they call a man of his word. If I say I'm coming, oh, I'm coming. I don't give a fuck what happens. God forbid somebody could shoot me. If I say I'm coming, it's still like, oh. Doesn't mean I like getting shot. Boy. Yeah, tough time for the blacks. I'm not gonna say nothing about the police. I'll leave that for Chris Rock. The other big sports story was fucking Ray Rice's tape. Anyone see that Ray Rice tape? I can't stop watching it. It's fucking awful. It's the most violent thing I've seen happen to a woman that was shot in color. Really fucking bad. Like, if I could have froze time at that moment and gave Ray Rice some advice, I don't think there's any way possible I'd be like, you should punch her in the face. It's a fucking terrible idea. At the same time, I also believe she shouldn't have rushed him. What the fuck was he like? You know, you can't beat him. It's don't rush a motherfucker that's trained to stiff arm people in the clutch. He's gonna get the upper hand. Only reason I bring him up is because, you know, he's about to play football again. You didn't know that? The NFL was told by a federal judge they had to reinstate Ray Rice because he was transparent with their investigation. He told them exactly what he did, and they can't just change your writ. That's like if I'm hanging out with my buddies and I'm like, hey guys, guess what I did last night? I fucked this big fat girl I met at the club. And they're all like, oh shit, Dave, that's crazy. And then they see a tape of me doing it, and they're like, we can't hang out with you anymore, Dave. That's not what this crew was all about. I'll be like, what? I told y'all what I did. What's really fucked up is the tape was made before they were married. Isn't that weird? I don't know why she'd do that. I don't even know why he would do that. As a guy, would you want to live with a woman that you had once punched in the face with all your strength? That's some very bold color purple type shit. Sealy, come out here and shave me. You out of your fucking mind? I had to ask an older friend of mine just to get some perspective. This older black dude. Actually, the fairest person I've ever met. And I asked him, I just said, hey man, I said, did you see that Ray Rice video? And instantly he was like, David, that shit was disgusting. I wonder what she said to him. I don't think that matters. I think the idea is you're not supposed to punch her in the face. My wife says terrible shit to me. My wife once called me a pussy in front of dinner guests. I know, I started to get mad, but then I was like, fuck it, she's probably right. I am a pussy, I admit it. I'm soft and warm and persuasive like a real pussy. Right. And then I told her, I said, and if you don't take care of me properly, I might stink like your pussy. Oh, we fight dirty, the Chappelle household. It's not a big deal. No. If you want to get to the bottom of a matter of the heart, what you're supposed to do is ask a woman. Now, actually, there's two women that I know. They're both college professors in this little area I live in. And I meet them twice a week at Starbucks for coffee. Talk about important shit. And I asked the girls, who's Ray Rice? After he punched her in the face with all his strength. And one of my girlfriends said, David, you need to wake the fuck up. She's staying for the money. Well, now, wait a minute, because my other girlfriend was like, I disagree. I think that she actually loves him. And I said, wait a minute, ladies, you know what? I think that you're both right. And what I was doing when I said that was preserving the possibility of a threesome with these bitches. I've been chipping away at this pussy one cup of coffee at a time for like 4 years. I was gonna throw all that hard work away over some Ray Rice shit. I don't care that much. I'm just being real. It's fucked up, man. It's a tough time for the blacks. I love you too. And then here comes the banana peel. I'm waiting on it any second. You know that's how it starts. Charlie Rose, who's next, Captain Kangaroo? Everybody is raping like hotcakes. I, for one, am starting to get worried. You know, I've been in show business 30 years. I had no idea how much danger I was in. It's really some scary shit. I gotta tell you, Harvey Weinstein's probably the first person that I ever looked at a photograph of and was like, yeah, he rapes. Not sure this motherfucker has a choice. Not a handsome man. A lot of meat and extra skin on his face. Yeah, he's ugly. You know the sad part is, he's done so well in life, he probably doesn't know he's ugly. You know, when you're good looking, everybody will tell you, oh, you look wonderful, you're so great looking. But when you're ugly, you gotta figure that shit out for yourself. It's a lot of putting clues together through the years. Why am I not getting in the club? I got all the right shit on. If it was Brad Pitt doing that shit, you wouldn't have heard a peep. The girl would just come back down like, I got the part. Yuck. Yet, it is important that I acknowledge, ladies, you are absolutely right. There you go. And you gotta all be mindful of that, guys, because this could happen to any of us. It could happen to me. I can see that. I can see myself showing up. Hi, I'm here for my 3 a.m. with Mr. Weinstein. Hey, Harvey, I got your text. I'm here to talk about the script. Seems like it's going to be hard to read in candlelight, but I guess I could try. Sound like a fucking nightmare. Could you imagine that shit? Could you imagine if you was in a business meeting and a motherfucker pulled their dick out? In the middle of the meeting, I'd be like, yo, my man, this is the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in all my days. Just let me finish, Dave Chappelle. I'll put you in all 3 Lord of the Rings. Hurry up, nigga. I have other meetings to do. I have a 4:30 a.m. at Brett Ratner's house. And, I believe it's wardrobe fitting. Wow. I mean, it is really bad out here, isn't it? Kevin Spacey's out here grabbing men by the pussy. I didn't even know that was possible. Jesus Christ. You got the guy from Star Trek, The Next Generation. That's who we got. Last time, it sounds like he was more than that, but that's who set it off. He's 14 years old, and Kevin Spacey costume at a party, which I gotta say, by the way, for the record, been to a lot of parties in my day. Never been to a good one that had 14-year-old boys in it. Not even when I was 13, you know what I mean? Who wants to kick it with a bunch of hubba bubba chewing niggas like, having a good time, nigga. Yuck. Ironically, the kid grew up to be gay anyway. Which means Kevin Spacey can sniff that shit out like a truffle pig. Yeah, he's one of me. And not the victim blame, but it seems like the kind of situation that a gay 14-year-old would get himself into. I know I didn't say that right, but it's true, nigga. Like, you know why I say that, though? Because I went to an arts high school, and like, all them niggas was gay, man. Like, in high school, all them dudes was gay. And them gay dudes was way more mature than the rest of us, and we didn't know why. We just knew they was mature. You ever see a gay dude at lunch? Perfect posture, they can sit it. Eating responsible. And then they take that thermos out. He'd be like, what the fuck is that? Is this nigga drinking wine with lunch? We didn't know what it was. Because we were young boys, we were just trying to figure out who we were. And we didn't realize these gay dudes was fighting to be who they knew they already were. Some impressive shit. They were fearless, the gay kids. Fucking fearless. I've never seen a scared gay dude in my life. What kind of man has no fear? You could be tied up in a hostage situation with a gay dude. Them niggas will still be like, I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty, David. I need something to drink. Well, then shoot me. I would rather die of a bullet than dehydration, nigga. I am thirsty. I need some water. But all jokes aside, Kevin Spacey shouldn't have done that shit to that kid. He's 14 years old and was forced to carry a grown man's secret for 30 years. Jesus Christ, he must have been busting at the seams with that one. The saddest part is, if he were able to carry that secret for 6 more months, I would get to know how House of Cards ends. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, these are dark times. New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy. Shit was really gross, because they didn't just say it like I said it. They didn't just say jizz on the stomach. They said it in that fucking Pulitzer Prize winning style that the New York Times has. It was very descriptive, like, you know what I mean? Louis C.K.'s semen shot out like a volcano of misogyny, slowly drizzling down like lava, covering his freckled penis as it slowly dripped to a fiery crown of red hair. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to eat some huevos rancheros and these niggas is... And you know, the tough part, being a comedian, knowing the motherfuckers, everybody comes up to me like, did you know? Did you know what Louis was doing? No, bitch, I did not know. The fuck you think we talk about at the comedy club? Hey, nigga, how was the weekend? Great, man. I was just jerking off and faces and coming on my own stomach, having a good time. You know how this business is. No, I didn't know. They act like we sit around like Grease. Tell me more, that she put up a fight. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know the choreography, but you get the point. You get the point. She was intense. But Louis was like the turning point. I mean, you know, all these allegations are terrible. Louis was the only... I shouldn't say this, but fuck it. His allegation was the only one that made me, like, laugh. If you think about it. Because all his friends is reading it, and he's jerking off, and he's surprising people. He's surprising me. I just picture all the comics in comedy just reading it like, what? It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right. But at the same time, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jesus Christ, they took everything from Louis. I was like, I don't know, it might be disproportionate. I can't tell. Well, did I dare say that? Come on, man, that's a brittle spirit. That is a brittle ass spirit, nigga. That shit is too late. You don't ask for it. got all these fucking sex things, you know, we can't help it. Lucky for us, we actually had sex. You think if Louis C.K. jerked off in front of Dr. King, he'd be like, I can't continue this movement. I'm sorry, but the freedom of black people must be stopped. I didn't know this nigga was gonna pull his dick out and jerk off like this. I just thought we were gonna get a couple of drinks and chill. Show business is harder. Stay up this week. All the channels fucking, I was gonna say that one thing is like, the fuck are you doing to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams? I know Louis is wrong, man. I'm just saying I'm held to a higher standard of accountability. Don't get what? Get what? Don't ever forget how I got it. My ancestors were kidnapped. I don't even know where the fuck I'm from. They were put on the bottom of boats. They sailed them across the Atlantic. Many of them died. Only the strongest survived. And once they got here, they beat the humanity out of my people. They turned us into beasts of burdens. They made us do their work. And the irony is, hundreds of years later, they called us lazy. We fought in the Civil War. We damn near freed ourselves. Then in Reconstruction, black people did great. My great-grandfather was a very wealthy man. But then the black coats came, Jim Crow came, and it was 100 years of unspeakable oppression again. Lynchings, all kinds of terrorist attacks to keep us in the margins of society. Yet we still fought. And Dr. King was gone. And then things got better. 20 years after Dr. King was assassinated, Michael Jackson was moonwalking on television. Something, Barack Obama. Donald Trump, and here we all are. 400-year nightmare. It took us 400 years to figure out as a people. And white people's weakness the whole time was kneeling during the national anthem. That's a brittle spirit. That's right, niggas. When the rockets break, what are you doing, niggas? Stand up! The Vice President of the United States got involved. Mike Pence got involved. He went to the game himself. These niggas will have to stay when they say that. And all them football players stood up in the stands and saw Mike Pence and said, Mike Pence, come on, y'all. Wu-Tang. Pow! Oh! Foiled. Brittle spirit. I could kill every white person in America at one time. In full swing, and the city was largely unrecognizable to me. And I was an older kid, and kids my age were doing a lot of wild things that I didn't know that kids would do. I'd never seen a kid with a pager before. I didn't know anything about selling drugs or any of that shit. All I knew was every day when I went to Eastern, I didn't feel safe. I'm a quiet guy, naturally. I'm a shy person, naturally. And I used to get my hair cut on a barbershop in 15th Street Northeast, and I would go there, and everyone in the barbershop would just snap on each other. And I'd sit in the corner, and I'd watch everybody and just listen to all these jokes. The guys were funny as shit, but one day, after a few weeks of going there getting my hair cut, they turned the jokes on me. I call that day the barbershop massacre. I lit everybody in that barbershop up. I've been sitting in there listening to them for weeks talk about each other. I knew every inside joke about each and every one of them, and they couldn't believe I knew. Work. I said, I can't do it. I want my joke back. I'll never forget this. Remember, I was a 15-year-old child. This guy was a grown-ass man. He stood up over me so I could see how big he was. And he said to me, really? I can just take it. And he did. I got scared because I was a child. But I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I was 15 years old. I'm 47 now. I think about this guy all the time. When I look at my own kids and I see how young and innocent they are, I can't believe someone did that to me. And I don't think about it every day because that was the worst thing that happened to me. I think about it every day because that was the first time that someone ever did that to me. But in my career, it has happened many, many times since, where someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that you should know how to act. I said, why? And he says, he didn't explain it. I said, okay, and I told my parents, and this is how I came to find out about Duke Ellington, my mother. She said, there's a place you can go where you can learn to act right here in Washington. It's a high school. I said, you mean I would get out of Eastern? The school year was already in full swing, and Ellington has a policy that they don't let people just come in the middle of the year. But Linda Gravatt, who was the head of the theater department at the time, very graciously took a meeting with me and my mother, and I get emotional thinking about it. Anybody that went here? You remember what it was first like? When you first walked through the door. And it was in the afternoon and everyone was in their arts classes and the girls had tutus on. And everyone was weird and walking around the hallway like you weren't sure where anyone was supposed to be, and you could hear people practicing their horns and shit all through the hallways. There was art bouncing off the walls. The minute I walked through the door, there was a gallery of all these children's work, and these pictures were amazing. My first thought, when I walked through that door, I'm not good enough to be here, I'm sure. Miss Gravatt sat me down, she told me about the school, and you remember Miss Gravatt, she was very businesslike, but also very warm. She was intimidating, but palpably kind. She was a paradox of a human being. And she gave me a date for an audition. My mother said, okay, Dave, it's on you. Now, those of you who know me know that I didn't prepare for that audition. That audition was like a possession. It was just something that I was proud to have. But as the days got closer, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get something together. I didn't even know how to do an audition. I'd never done it before. So I went, I said, what do I need? They said a monologue. So I looked up monologue. And I went to the library, the MLK library, this huge library. I said, I gotta find something. And I found a piece in one of those yellow script books. It was a monologue by Mark Twain called The Judge's Spirited Woman. I learned it in a night. It was not hard for me to memorize things. The next day, it was a Saturday, I think, and I came to the school, and they auditioned in what used to be this room, the original theater at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. And all the department heads
sat in here and the lights are in your eyes, and there's a bunch of kids who already go to the school who come on Saturday just to see who might be coming. And I talked to all these kids before I went in, and these kids were nothing like the kids at Easton. They were like them, but they were different. They were weird and funny and self-deprecating and things like this. And I remember I came out on stage and I did my audition, and it was like terrible. I froze up in the beginning. I started, and then I said, wait a minute, I'm messing up. Let me start again. And I was nervous, and I was scared. And in the middle of the audition, I'm in the middle of the monologue, one of the teachers, Fred Leach, he said, Fred Leach, he goes, okay, that's enough. I said, well, there's still a little more. He goes, no, that is enough, he said. And I can't tell you, like, I was crushed. Without saying his disapproval, I knew it stunk. And I was right. When I walked in here, I knew I wasn't good enough to go to this school. And I thought to myself, fuck this school, that's stupid anyway. In first year theater, there's a question that they ask students from time to time. And it's a make or break question. And when we ask this question, you don't know. And the question is this. They say, why do you want to act? Now, if you say anything like, I want to be a star, you're not going to get in. I didn't know that. And I figured I already blew the audition, so I told him the truth. He said, why do you want to act? I don't. That's what I said. And they said, well, then why are you here? I said, because I want to be a comedian, and some comedian told me that if I want to be a good comedian, I need to learn how to act. And the teachers look at each other and go, thank you very much, and I left. And I was walking down the hallway, kicking rocks. There was a kid that already went here. His name was Eko Handy. And Eko said, hey, man, I listened to him talking about you. I said, you did? He said, you're in. I said, what? He said, you're in. Well, it didn't make any sense. As organized as the gays. And I love punching down. There's probably a handicap in the back right now, because that's where they usually make them sit. I came here to laugh at transgender people. I didn't know this nigga was gonna make jokes about us. Come on, y'all, let's get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, it's about that got me out of that space was a comedian friend of mine, the late, great Norm Macdonald. That's right. Shout out to Norm. And what Norm did, which I'll never forget, is he knew that I was the biggest Jim Carrey fan in the world. Now, I'm not going to go all into it, but Jim Carrey is talented in a way that you can't practice. Just what a God-given talent. It's fascinating. And Norm knew that. And he called me up and he goes, Dave, I'm doing a movie with Jim Carrey. Do you want to meet him? I said, fuck. Yes, I do. And it was the first time I could remember since my father died being excited. And the movie, it's called Man on the Moon. I didn't know any of this. And in this movie, Jim Carrey was playing another comedian I admired, the late, great Andy Kaufman. Yes, and Jim Carrey is so immersed in that soul that the moment he woke up, time he went to bed at night, he lived his life. It's the Andy Kaufman. I didn't know that. But they said, cut, and it's still Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. I just went there to meet him, and we walked to the room and he told me, wait, Jim Carrey. And everyone said, no. Oh, I didn't understand. And then he came over and he was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting like Ann Kaufman, just like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, hello, Andy? Now, in hindsight, I'm fucking lucky in my age. I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. Very lucky to have seen it. But as it was happening, very disappointed that I wanted to meet Jim Carrey. I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman.